This is Brownie's Podcast!
Sweet Jesus, degenerates, what a round of football. This is...
You're listening to Brownie's Podcast.
Here's a few highlights before we get into it.
Unbelievably, the Giants are in front. Merritt comes away. The inspired leader off to Durham. He must score. He will score. Zach Merritt, how good. And the Pies prevail for Pendles.
All that happened, but before we get into it, I've been told to play this.
I need it a little louder. Turn that bad boy up. Here we go.
We got the power to win, power to roll. Come on.
Pretty fun song. Well done, Brody.
Thank you very much.
Great win.
What happened?
We haven't even spoken about the Cats winning by 5 points and the great goal from Jeremy Cameron.
Yes.
West Coast Eagles coming from behind to win.
Friday night.
It is an unbelievable round of football.
How did
and
the matchmakers get West Coast, Gold Coast on a Friday night?
know.
God almighty, that bloke should be shot. When I was a double
Take it
header.
out to a paddock and just...
They must have had a contractual obligation
so?
to play a game. They must have a certain amount of Friday nights. It was an awesome game round of footy. Port Adelaide, they're looking good. And I've been staunch for Kenny all year.
Just
get
stop
your
that
hand
right
up
now.
and
Stuck fat.
You
And you
st-
have been just sticking knives in him for the last 18 months.
Actually,
You
yes,
said
you have.
you
You've
said
been
we were
harsh.
cooked. You said Port Adelaide were cooked and can't do anything, and that the season was over. And we come out and beat the top of the ladder team by 112 points in one of the most unanimous victories this game has seen in the last 10 years.
What
It was
happened?
unbelievable. It was astonishing. I watched the first half again this morning just to go through it all. So Port Adelaide are very good, but Sydney, haven't they? Well, Brisbane have cooked them 2 weeks ago. That was a brutal game, hot game up there. Since then, they've completely dropped off the face of the earth. Chad Warner, don't know where he is. Brody Grundy's dropped off. Goulden, Heaney, all the big guns are struggling. You've got no key defenders apart from Tommy McCartan. There's issues everywhere.
Yeah. All of
And
a
Joel
sudden.
Amati got dropped. He kicked 9, and then he went home and watched his highlights videos for the next 5 weeks and didn't get a kick.
I can't remember a top of the table side
Shitting
dishing
the
up
bed.
a performance
Yeah.
as bad
Yeah.
as that they did on the weekend. It was just embarrassing. I think Johnny Longmire will be ropeable at how
Can
his
they
boys
win
are-
it after that? Does that do too much damage to them psychologically?
Bear in mind how highly praised they were up until a month ago.
Yeah, they can regroup and bounce back, but geez, they want to do it pretty soon because I think they'll start doubting themselves now.
Yeah.
And then they're not winning the hard ball. Right? Their run and carry and creativity is gone.
Yep.
They can't score. So, yeah, I said about 6-7 weeks ago that they are by far the best side in the competition. And since then, they've just
Complete drop-off.
hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
And you've got Port Adelaide, you've got the Western Bulldogs, you've got Brisbane that have gone to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Longmire in the press conference a few weeks ago said he's not panicking. They'll be starting to panic now. Yeah, the coaches will be trying to work out what the hell has happened.
Yeah.
They've lost their connection completely. And I think it's a bad sign. I'll be very surprised now if Sydney win a grand final on the back of a performance like that.
I think you should be handing Johnny Longmire brown paper bags so he can breathe into it because he's going to be having a panic attack.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah, mate.
Yeah.
You don't lose by 112 points and a month out from the finals and think that you can still win it. I know internally they will, but Jesus,
It was
issues.
45 zip at quarter time. You just don't see scorelines. Joey might see that on the weekend with Castlemaine versus Kangaroo Flat, but you just don't see it in AFL footy.
And that big buffer they had, that pillar of points, is gone.
Gone. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
Big Charlie Dixon went back to the sandful. He's come back. Presence.
I've
Mitch
like rated-
Georgiadis
I've like-
didn't play at all last
Yeah.
year because of that knee injury, and he's bobbed up and kicked full.
Really
Really,
rated
really.
Lee going forward.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's good. Willie Rowley's a star. Obviously, we saw him at West Coast before he decided to take the Gatorade bottle into the drug test.
Willem Drew is better than a
Mate,
tag
why
it
the
out.
blue Gatorade?
Why the blue
Honestly,
one,
go
Willie?
with the yellow.
Like, at least give it a chance to work. Do you think the doctor would look at blue piss and go, this looks like Mountain Blast? So Sydney, Collingwood, Essendon, Adelaide.
I tell you what I love. There's been a couple of times that Eddie Maguire hasn't been able to make his way to a Collingwood game for whatever reason. Right?
Yeah.
I reckon he was filmed at Francois or somewhere last year when they won a close one. And he was over in Paris doing a great job for the Ozempics. and he was out for lunch with the time difference.
Yep.
And someone recorded him commentating to the restaurant.
Yeah, we're going to set the scene. He's wearing a tan suit. The restaurant looks flash.
Nice, yeah, and he's decided, he's watching it on his phone, he's decided to take it upon himself to commentate the final kick from Mitch McGovern.
Unwanted.
Siren's gone.
Come on.
Miss it. He rubs his head. It's just going to be a matter of accuracy.
He's
As he
commentating.
comes in to take his kick. Collingwood beat them with 2 seconds last time they played. And he's missed! He's missed it! He's kicked it out! What the fuck?
And now picture him jumping up and down,
Yeah.
clapping,
Yeah.
completely overtaken by emotion.
You think that'd be it, right? But no, he picks his moment.
And breaks in a song. He was trying to link up and sing the song. That's great passion. Unbelievable.
He was like a kid in the candy store, wasn't he?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
that was a great atmosphere. 86,000 on
Tell us about
Friday night. Yeah, it was awesome. But I just wish Pendlebury had to kick that goal. He clipped the post. Would have been one of the goals of the year.
Yeah.
But he's much loved by everyone. 400 games. What a legend. And he was critical late as well.
Yep.
You know, he looked like as though Cripps was all over him late in the game. But he just manages to control the scenario and keep a cool head, doesn't he? Under pressure situations. I think that's you could argue in a lot of strengths, that's been his greatest strength.
No
to
doubt.
remain calm and composed and put his teammates in the right spots late in games.
Yeah, never rushed. Always makes the right decision with ball in hand. And he's not limping to the line either.
No.
He's still playing as good a football as anyone out there. He's probably in the best 5 or 6 players on the ground.
If Collingwood lost that, you'd say game over. But is the door ajar?
Well, it is, but I think they lose Friday night, though, against Sydney.
Well, who
You'd be
knows?
nervous about Sydney on
you
the
reckon?
rebound. Well, but on the rebound,
yeah.
if they're going to talk about this Bloods culture, is the Bloods culture real? Or is it just, have they lost that part of their game? So, that'll be a big game Friday night, but I'm looking forward to it. Jack Crisp was great again. The senior players getting back in. Darcy Moore's getting back into form. Darcy Cameron was fantastic. I think forward of the ball, they look a lot better now with McStay coming back in.
Yep.
Coxie was able to take a couple of marks. I love the post-game interview too today. Jack Crisp was on SEN, your station. And I love the awareness of Jack Crisp. So when you're doing an interview, you try and find a quiet room.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just so everyone can hear you clearly in the audio form.
And let's just guess at the end what's the distraction is.
Quite strong with their kill spoils and actually killing the area. And then, it was great to have Bo back up forward. We've got Lockie Schultz and Jamie who are really good at pressure themselves, but, Bo just kind of brings another aspect to it. And then, if we get our defensive layers right, it makes it so much harder for the opposition to score, and we just feel so much more connected, which we haven't had for a lot the last kind of 5 or 6 weeks, but the last 2 weeks we feel like we've fared a bit more continuity.
Mate, when you're interviewing someone and all you can hear is the f***ing flicker.
That interview went for 10 minutes. I think you stuck at the lights for 8 minutes. I'm not sure what the intersection was.
John, you can't even hear what they're saying because you just focused on the flicker.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He should have had the presence of mind there, even if he was changing lanes and things like that. Not to,
Put the blinker on.
not to use the traffic
Bucks could have
signals.
at least let him know.
All right, so the other games are huge ones. The Dockers game, did you guys catch that last night?
No, I didn't see the Dockers yesterday, but all I did know was I went into the elevator at 30 seconds to go and I was tired and I was working. So I ran up half-time and then I came in and I got straight on and I started talking about the draw. And now they'd be happy with the teams now if they've had a draw, so it brings their percentage into play. And everyone started laughing at me. I realised that Merritt's gone out and kicked the stoppage, a centre bounce point, didn't he?
It wasn't Merritt. He won the stoppage.
Yep,
He
he got it
handballed it
to-
to Caldwell.
That's right.
Who ran a 50 and hit it.
Sorry,
but
yeah.
The exact same play, I think they learned from 2 weeks ago. You remember Adelaide hit the front at Marvel Stadium?
Yeah.
And the very next centre clearance, who was it that got on the fly, hooked around the back from a right-handed tap from Draper, was Merritt. On this occasion, though, he didn't have someone to handball to have a shot. He kicked it inside forward 50 and they turned the ball over. So it's great leadership from him, understanding the big moments and making an impact, and this time it worked for him.
And very rarely when there's a rule change does it go well, but the 666 since that came in, we have that rule to thank for ends like
Well,
this.
the game's all about momentum swings now, and can you minimise the damage when the opposition has it, and can you maximise when you have it? And obviously, GWS were fantastic, weren't they? Against a team that moves the ball really quickly in Hawthorn, they come back from 27 points down at three-quarter time, charged home over the top of them.
They've won 9 from 11, and the 2 losses that Hawks have had in the last 3 months nearly has been the 2-point loss to Port when they were unlosable game, and now another 2-point loss to GWS when they had to come from behind to do it. So they're playing as good a football as anyone, but they just aren't able to play the full 4 quarters that you need to put away really good sides.
The game's enormous now, isn't it, on Sunday?
Huge.
Against Carlton.
Yeah.
Carlton could drop out of the 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hawks would have to go into that as favourites.
Yes, man.
Just have to. Don't you think?
Well,
Surely.
I don't know. With the
Say
way
it, John. Say it.
Carlton finished the game, though.
Charlie Curno's injured. He's not playing well. He's behind in the Coleman
Is he
race
injured?
now. Well, that's the only thing I could put my finger
I just
to.
wish Charlie had started putting himself in the firing line more. I'd love the ball to go through him. He leads ahead of his players as if they're 10 goals up. So you need to be in line with the footy and have the ball go through you, because I want Charlie Curnow in 10 contests in the last quarter, not in 2.
First time he hasn't scored in 66 games.
Yeah.
He went into the rooms late with an ankle injury, which looks like it may
He's a bit
potentially,
hampered.
which may keep him out of this week. But yeah, it's a touch and go job.
You can see, we don't do stats here, just quickly.
Yeah.
So everyone talks about the turnover game. Let's go Kingy for a minute.
Yes.
Turnover differential is nearly the most important stat in football, because 2/3 of the game scores come from turnover, a third come from stoppage, typically. That's for all the teams. So that's why when you hear commentators bang on about turnover and the importance of that, turnover differential is what you score from turnover and what you concede, or what the opposition kicks from turnover. Carlton are clearly the best team at that stat in the competition. 19 out of the last 20 winners of that stat have played in at least a prelim final. So there's a lot of things right in Carlton's game. Wow. It's just they're conceding kick-in goals and forward 50 goals, which are normally the easiest 2 things to defend.
Yep, that's true.
So you sort of look at that and they go, you'd be really bucking the trend if Carlton completely collapse.
And they'd be easy things to coach to be able to stop or prevent the opposition.
Well, that's right. Spot on.
Yeah.
So they should be able to coach around it.
I just can't fathom that the Blues could drop out of the
Neither.
8. It's wild. And hey, this is the first time I've seen a real shift in you with Hawks. You're believing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely believe in. This was always going to be a huge test for them. I know they lost, but the Giants are a very good side, and they outplayed them for a significant period of it. Hey, we haven't spoken too much about the Ozempics.
Yeah.
It's all been happening.
Yeah.
I'm loving the fact that the footy's great during the weekend.
Yeah.
And then we watch the Ozempics during the week.
Ads and we'll come back.
There's been some amazing things happen
my God.
that we need to address.
You've got some stunning information. Welcome back to Brownie's podcast. We've got Joey Montagna coming up because he's in the draft, brods? Yeah. The Carlton draft, I mean.
Absolutely, Carlton draft. Yeah.
But the
I think
Ozempics...
he's the last one.
Is he? Oh, yes, because he went last.
Yeah.
There's great stories of perseverance and athletes that are winning medals.
Yes.
You know, Fox, she's got a couple of golds. And then there's the heartbreak of athletes that don't quite get where they want to go for whatever reason, lack of performance. And one of the hard luck stories, no pun intended, is in the pole vaulting, the men's pole vaulting. There's a French pole vaulter called Anthony Amirati who was jumping for a medal, and he cleared that damn pole.
Yeah.
And you know what flicked it on the way down? His enormous cock.
Wow!
It dislodged.
That's fair.
It dislodged the pole pole.
Yeah.
And it cost him a medal.
His bell end clipped the pole.
It is huge. I am surprised that he doesn't use that as the pole vault. It's and I know he'll be disappointed that he didn't medal.
Yes.
But I reckon that he'll be okay in the future. now that 6 billion people around the globe have actually seen why he didn't medal.
So he'll rest, a bit like Matt Shervington, rests easy at night.
Yeah.
He didn't win a medal at the Olympics. But
He's walking around the athletes' village with new confidence.
Yeah, so I wanted to test that theory, so I got up really early this morning. I went down to Boxall Athletics Club.
Yep.
I made them set up pole vault, the exact height, the exact frame, everything. And I did it. I did the exact same jump that Anthony Amirati did, and I cleared it by 7 inches.
that's fair.
So that's the first one that I want to address.
Yes.
The second one is the men's 3-metre synchronised springboard divers.
Yeah.
Now...
Tubby Taylor was commentating this
Yeah,
week.
he was commentating.
But who else do you want when it comes to diving?
Tubby, all over it.
And these 2 male divers, Dai Long and Zongyun Wang, right? And they did a fantastic job, but when their names came up together, the graphic down the bottom said Long Wang, which has become a bit of a meme. It's a little bit childish, I know, but
Not for you.
that caught my attention.
Yes.
And we've been speaking about the river and the billions of dollars that's been spent on it, and they postponed the men's triathlon
By a day.
for the women to do it, just to see if they got sick or whatnot. And a number of athletes now, 3-4 days post the triathlon, having swum in the river, are critically sick, and one of them's got E. coli.
John,
Yes.
critically sick.
Critically sick. Well, it was funny. They replaced the boys with logs out there, so that's why there was the concerns, Dino. Obviously, they weren't able to fix the river sign.
That's messed up.
They spent $2 billion on fixing up the river.
They had to forfeit the mixed triathlon, so when the men's and the women's, because you're not allowed to replace them, and some of them have got so sick after their individual events that they just had to sit it out. So that was always on the cards.
What about the 100-metre final? Get up for that.
Oh, wasn't that a
What
photo
about the
finish?
weight, though? The weight
So
was
they got out
almost... It was as longer than the wait we had to wait for Eddie Maguire.
It was.
to commentate McGovern's kick.
But they introduced him, and then they lined up, John, and it felt like 3 minutes of like intense music.
Yeah.
And these poor bastards. One of them did the wrap it up signal with his hands.
Yeah.
The guy that actually
What
won.
were they doing?
I don't know.
Just trying to raise the anticipation of it
Well,
all.
you want to be pretty certain that you get the right one, as we have learnt previously when you go and announce the wrong winner, and then you have to retract and then reconfirm. You want to be certain.
No, but this is before. No, this is before the race. Yeah,
They're
they
lining
just had
up
to
to
stand
run.
there on the blocks for so long.
Man,
Like-
it was messed up.
Did you see them have to wait in the women's 100-metre heat when the world champion, the girl that they thought was going to win it, didn't show up? She just didn't show up. She's like, nah.
Hamstring.
She got locked out. Yeah, then she's done her
Locked out.
hamstring.
That's just call someone.
Yeah, the 100-metre final was unbelievable. Noah Lyles, because there's that documentary Sprint on Netflix,
Right.
which has been huge. But it would have fallen flat if he ran no good. But he was behind, or he was last or second last for most of the race. Powered home. Marcel Jacobs, he's either one of the greatest sooks in world sport. I know he won the 100-metre sprint at the Tokyo Olympics. But in this sprint documentary, always injured, and then finishes the race, runs a pretty decent race, finished 5th, ice pack straight on his hamstring.
I saw that.
Give me a spell.
Come on,
You've got 4 years to recover.
You don't need to ice up.
Mate, you wouldn't want to go to war with Marcel, well, the fact that he's Italian as well, but you wouldn't want to go to war.
Mate, it had a lot of Donald Trump's ear bandage about it.
I think that was the first American 100-metre sprint male goal for 20-odd years. And that just is a race that I've always...
Well, since the Sydney Olympics, since...
30 years.
No, Sydney, 24 years, Sydney Olympics, I can't remember, Maurice Green.
But John made a great point. It was almost the photo finish for the 100-metre sprint, but the technology took a while to pop the winner up. But if they just use the Dapto Dogs photo finish technology...
Well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Dino brought it up today, so it should be the dog photo.
Yeah.
Mate, just use the dog photos.
I couldn't agree more.
That Tekken will know the winner. Jess Fox went for a 3rd gold medal, but her sister dogged her. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I tell you who I felt for.
Yes.
And this was my favourite story. This is in the mixed doubles in the tennis.
Yeah.
There was a couple who I believe they representing France, I think. Turns out they were a couple. They split up 2 weeks ago and still had to compete in the same event and end up winning gold. But imagine your ex-girlfriend standing across you, be like, every time that she'd drop a point, you'd be like, you're kidding. You are kidding me.
I bet you the makeup sex would have been amazing with those the gold medals dangling.
Nicola Ollis-Lagers, she's our high jumper.
Yeah.
Got
What'd she
silver.
do?
She got silver. How good?
Yeah, and what'd she do in
after
between?
every jump, she journals.
Really?
She picks up a journal. It's
Dusty
awesome.
desk.
Just write
What's
stuff.
she right? Jump
She
higher?
draws stuff and writes stuff in between jumps.
Wow.
The other chicks are looking at her like, what's going on?
That's peculiar. Noah Bolter put out a notepad and paper and pen against Geelong and sat on the bench in the middle of the game of AFL footy and
Noah
started
Bolter?
writing. Yeah, he
Really?
did that. Yeah,
While he was playing.
yeah. Bolter's booklet. No,
It works
Noah's
for her.
notepad. whatever you want to call it.
John Rahm, choke of the year.
What happened?
Apparently, Johnny Rahm was 4 shots in front at the turn in the last round
Bogey,
last
bogey.
night and shit the bed. Didn't even win a medal. Scotty Scheffler won.
9 holes, 4-shot lead.
Yeah.
And he's
Called the greatest choke of the year. Bigger than Rory McIlroy. So it's all happened overnight. Big overnight.
And Novak Djokovic, to my surprise, won his first ever gold medal.
He's first.
So yeah, because in the previous he's won a couple of silvers and bronze. Do you reckon he beat Carlos Alcaraz, right, who just knocked him off over in Wimbledon, because Novak's won so many Wimbledons, right, and never a gold. Do you reckon if he had to choose this year's Wimbledon or this year's gold medal in Paris, he would choose the gold medal?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely, because he's won plenty of Wimbledon.
He's won them before.
Yeah, that's right. He's won
I know
about
that's
10
the
of them.
most prestigious, but on his resume, he's never won a gold medal at the Olympics.
Yeah, it's a blemish.
So I reckon he's done well.
Great point. Spot. How long is he going to play for? He'll play forever. Him and Alcaraz
he's not
is good.
slowing down.
Hey, just one quick one too. There's another podcast. Roy and HG are back. They're doing a podcast.
Oh, man.
Are they?
Daily podcast. This is the greatest suggestion I've heard out of all the Ozempic chat. They're talking about events for the 2032 games, and you always have these different ones, these novel ones that come in you've never heard of. They're trying to get up pig shooting for the 2032. For the 2032 Brisbane Olympics, because obviously out in Queensland there's loads of pigs. They've got a wild pig problem, so just let them loose out
Maybe a couple of those
the open plains.
Maybe a couple of those pigs that we had pig races on our Mad Mondays up there that you organised, JB, might have grown into the animal that we deserve.
What did Roy reckon? There, you let him go for 3 days.
Let him go
Just
3 days.
Let him wander.
Let him wander, and then it's whoever comes back with the golden pig.
Oh, John, I didn't know that a
You
daily...
get 2 dogs each. Each competitor gets 2 dogs.
They're a daily podcast.
Daily
Roy and HG.
podcast, yeah. Shooting team, the 303s. Yeah, I know, it's a must listen. After you listen to Brownie's podcast, get onto that.
After the ads, we're going to call up Joey Montagna, probably just to hang to be honest, if we're complete. And then we've got a What a World today.
Oh, we've got maybe the greatest What a World that I can remember.
Welcome back to Brownie's podcast at Brownie's podcast. Beck, how was the snow on the weekend? I'm told you're on the mountain, not on the golf course.
Yeah, so I just said the fairway's looking a bit white today. So, yeah, it was great. Almost hit a snowboarder, but in my head, I was channeling some Fev.
Yep.
And I was like, pressure point. Because you got to use the outer ski. You got to, like, put some pressure into that so you can curve around it. So
Do you often think about Fev for affirmations?
no, it was just that one moment. It was life or death situation,
Sure.
okay? So
Sure.
Now, what about the word champion? Quite often, if you cop it,
It's not good.
It's not good, is it?
No,
But
it's
I
condescending.
Heard, I heard the nicest, best use of the word champion in regards to buddy or mate or any of that sort of stuff. There was an old lady who was just helping out a Jetstar. She must be on the books because she had a Jetstar costume on. She would have been the best part of She would
must have been on the books.
Well, mate, at the airport, she would have been at least 75.
Yep.
So it's a bit like those volunteers. I felt like she was maybe being a volunteer when you go to the hospital and they point you in the right direction to get the ward.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this is a lady at Jetstar. And as we were going to the lane to get onto Jetstar to fly home the other day, there was a couple of different lanes and she pointed me in the right direction. She said, "Just get your boarding pass ready, champion."
Oh, mate. That's unbelievable.
With a beautiful smile.
Oh,
the way it was delivered was unbelievable. I thought, wow, thank you, love.
All right, we're going to call Joey Montagna because the Carlton draft's up.
She died yesterday.
Ballet champion.
Champion.
I'm going to call. Carlton draft's happening. Remember Joey Montagna went last on draft night? And he was gutted because Dill Buckley went ahead of him.
Bit flat, wasn't he? Yeah, Joey, 2-time All-Australian as well.
Do you think that's because Joey sort of trained off since he's retired and Dylan's kept himself in reasonably good nick?
Well, absolutely. And he's a kicker-outerer.
Yeah.
Isn't he? So he pads the numbers.
Yeah.
It's fair to say. So it's hard to get a read on Joey Montagna. Was his game a good game, or was it just because the team kicked a lot of behinds and he got a lot of kicks because of that?
That's a brutal accusation.
Joey's not on the phone, is he?
Let's see.
Bus fat.
Come on, Joseph.
The person you are calling is not available.
Let's leave a message.
Please leave a short message and it will be sent
I'll
as
just
an
leave
audio
one word.
message.
Bus fat.
Imagine getting that message.
On your voicemail, if you didn't know who the caller was.
It would come from a private number too.
And you're in the car, like driving along when you listen to it with your kids or your missus.
He's going to be utterly
You'd think you'd
confused.
signed up to some
Dad.
secret sex.
Actually,
Dad,
Madison
what's a
Chatline.
bus fat?
Well,
Well, kids.
I'll try him again. Let's...
Come on, Joey.
Joey, we
He
didn't want to
has the-
interview you anyway,
Yes.
and now you're not picking up.
Now he has the temerity not to answer.
The person you are calling is not available. Please leave
That's
a
2
short...
strikes, Brody.
Yes, give him another bus fat.
2.
Here we go. Jeez, I hope he gets
Hello.
it. Oh,
Oh, here he is.
You got me, you got me.
Here he is.
mate, make sure you listen.
I'm going to burn you.
Make sure you listen to your voicemail after this.
Yeah.
With the kids in the car.
Maybe not with the kids in the car. Joey, how you going?
Good, thank you. Good. Going all right. Going all right.
All right.
What's happening?
We weren't sure about the Carlton draft. I can't remember Carlton draft. Not I'm the commissioner, but where were you drafted, mate?
I was can't remember either. I'm not sure what pick I was.
Joey, surely it was...
Hang on. What does Aaron James and you have in common?
Me and Aaron James.
Yeah, remember Aaron James from the...
I do remember Aaron James. He was a drunk.
So-
Yeah,
he went pick 83 and last in the 2001 Super Draft.
did he really? Aaron James.
Yeah, so they're likening this year's the CUB draft as the Super Draft. What number did you go again?
I can't remember.
Say it.
Say it. Say it.
I was pick 6.
Pick 6.
Oh, no, how many were they? Pick 5. 5 or 6.
Pick 6 and last. No, Joey, what a fantastic... You must be getting excited, mate. A few nerves.
You know what? It actually has become real this week, Randy. I am starting to get a little bit chilly. It was always far away and it was in the back of the mind. And now this week it's become real. So I am starting to get a little bit nervous. I haven't been enthralled when I've seen everyone else. I've seen Lloydie do the whole full body cramp. I've seen Isaac Smith hurt his knee. I've seen Dylan Buckley get cleaned up. So it has made me a bit nervous.
When is the last time you laced up the boots, Joey?
I played a game in 2019, I reckon. I went down and played in the big game Ararat versus Stall in a big Good Friday clash. I think that was the last time.
Joey, do you have time away from your family for this? Are you staying in the little hick town you're going to? Is it hick town?
Castlemaine.
Castlemaine, it's not a hick town.
Mate, the family are coming up. We're going to spend the night in Dalesford on the Friday night, which is about half an hour away. And then they'll come and have a look. And my kids have never seen me play, so that is the exciting part.
How's the preparation been, mate?
Yeah, no, I had good intentions, Brownie. I had good intentions. Probably haven't done as much as I would have liked. Things have gotten in the way, like the weather and those sorts of things. So, sort of put me off getting out as much as I'd like. But 3 kids at work, it's been hard. But no, hopefully we can do enough.
And first crack with Kingy twice a week now.
Oh, tell me about it, Brownie. Yeah, they're working us overtime. So that's taken away from my training time. Let's put it that way.
How would you describe Kingy's, how do I say this? As a workmate, how would you describe him? Joey?
No, Kingy's been great for me. I get on well with Kingy. I let him go in his lane. He does his thing, and I do mine. But he's been great for me. So I like working with Kingy, and he's been a good mentor.
I reckon he'd wear Brute. Does he wear Brute?
Old Spice.
He wouldn't be a Dolce & Gabbana sort of,
no
aftershave
frills.
operator.
Just honest.
What about Isaac Smith? How's he? Didn't he get seriously injured?
Yeah, he's hurt his knee, like an 8-week medial ligament or PCL or something like that. Yeah, he's still he's in a brace and he was limping around. So that's not ideal.
That's why I refuse to ever put my hand up for the CUB draft.
Campbell, have you ever been asked to do the CUB draft?
No, because I think they know that I'd knock it back.
Hey, Campbell, Brownie, did you play with Michael Hartley?
No.
No, you missed him.
Yeah, missed him.
Oh, he's the captain coach. He's the captain coach.
Oh, yes.
He was one of the most beautiful kicks I've ever seen of the footy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was an unbelievable kick. Super boot.
That's surprising.
Which not many people would know.
Yeah, right. Did he play for Adelaide then Hawthorn?
And I reckon Collingwood as well. He started his
Essendon?
career, and then he played a lot of VFL. That's how I got to see him.
Send up a great segment. Where did Michael Hartley play footy?
Well, Brownie, I just spoke to the coach. I've just had a chat with him to get a bit of a feel for it.
Yes.
So trying to work out where I'm going to play. And he goes, do you mind playing? Do you care about playing if you're playing the forward pocket? I said, no, wherever you need me. He goes, good, because we just had a bloke that's a similar size and similar shape to you, and he's just gone overseas, so he can play his role. I'm thinking, similar size and similar shape. What's he trying to say?
Good news.
I'm trying to find out who the bloke is that I'm going to replace.
He's trained off. I thought you'd run down and get a few of those kick-outs, Joey.
Well, that's plan B, Browny. I said I'll start in the forward line. If I haven't had a touch, I'm going down the other end and taking a kick in.
I think I know who the player was. Austin Wanamiri.
Stop it.
He's gone off
He's
the
hung
rails.
up on us.
Hey,
Stop it.
Joey, good luck, man. We hope you at least get a touch, bare minimum.
That's what I said. I just said to the coach, all I need is a couple of highlights and the team win, and then I'm happy. So that's the plan.
All the best, mate.
We'll catch
Good
up
luck,
with
mate.
you after. Thanks, man.
All the best.
Thank you very much, boys. Thank you.
All right, so almost time to wrap up, but before that,
What a world. It's about time we get a stinger, I reckon, for that, so I don't have to keep saying it.
it's only been 3 years.
This is remarkable because we are going to the Viet Duc Hospital in Hanoi, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Okay, a 26-year-old Indian national made his way into the hospital complaining of some stomach cramps, and immediately they took him in for some X-rays. And horrified hospital staff then saw what was causing the stomach issues, and it became quite serious quite quickly because this 26-year-old Indian national had a 26-inch live eel that he had stuck up his anus, and it was making its way through his anal duct
Cavity.
all the way up and started to eat through his intestines. Now, initially they tried to remove the eel and they couldn't because they also then found a lemon that was stuck in halfway or three-quarters of the way up his anus, right?
What?
So they had to cut open his stomach, remove the live eel out the front of the stomach, and then manipulate the lemon out the other way, out of his anus, and stitch up both parts of his body. So
Could this perhaps have been an accident? Are we ruling out accident?
I'm going to tip it that it was definitely not an accident, but they couldn't believe it. Eels are animals that can survive anaerobic conditions for a long time, but they can certainly puncture their way through digestive tracts.
Okay.
And he just wanted some fresh air. That's all he wanted. And the only way he could do that was up through the intestines.
Well, at least he could have got the aluminium foil out, cut up the eel, put the lemon in with the eel, and just put it straight on the barbie.
John, well said.
What a world.
Well said. Hey, are we doing Wednesday again this week?
Thursday.
Thursday. All right, degenerates, have a great week. We'll see you soon.